Wait. Let's see if YouTube can detect us streaming. Oh, there we go. Excellent connection. It says perfect. You are watching it's our first ever live stream on YouTube now, Jay. I mean, we're just going everywhere, aren't we?
Just everywhere.
This is like our world tour, except this time we're sticking with YouTube. We're just doing it. It's Jfabe.
Just doing it on YouTube.
We really are. It's Jfabe. This is a high quality video. It's going to be mostly just me and Jay, just doing our thing, and talking about what's going on in the world of NXT. We are available on anchor.fm/Jfabe. My name is Rich. You can't see a title because I forgot to draw one, and you also can't see a title for the video because I didn't draw one there. That'll be sorted for tomorrow when we do AEW at the exact same time, which is apparently bang on 9 o'clock GMT +1. We're in British summertime now. Jay, how are you enjoying British summertime?
It's really cold. really cold.
It really is very cold. We live in a stupid country.
Yeah. I'm pretty cold.
Oh, that music's really loud, isn't it? Let's turn the music down. I'm not even demuxing the sound, so yeah. If that means anything to you, technology. So we're going to be talking about NXT. Jay is available on Twitter. You can always talk to Jay. Jay's like an industry insider in that he once sold tickets to a Progress Wrestling show.
I did. I was there. That's what happened. It was the last Super Strong style.
Yeah, this is like bona fide. Like it's like having a referee on your show or like a low-ranking jobber. Except this time, he's never laced up a pair of boots, other than to go and sell tickets. I have no real wrestling experience other than the amount that I watch, and I did not watch the subject of today's episode, NXT, because I was too busy setting up this channel. So this is just prepare yourselves for some really, really informed dialogue, I think is where they're going with this. So with that said, Jay, how are you finding the new look NXT post WrestleMania?
This show was really fucking awesome. Actually, this was their format. It's got a bit of an attitude era feel to it, but with a fresher feel, like a really fresh feel.
Well, I don't know. The Attitude Era doesn't sound pretty fresh to me, but describe why. I think is the right place to go.
What they're doing is they're cramming in everybody.
Someone who hasn't watched it, because you are.
So what they're doing is the matches aren't exactly as long. They're quite short, but they're really fast paced. So it's like you're watching a longer match. They feel like they're a long match.
Okay.
But they're cramming in loads of vignettes and like backstage promos, so you can get used to people's characters. So maybe they're taking from like being the elite, maybe, but cramming everyone in. But it kind of worked. 40 minutes in, I was a bit like, what the hell is going on? Why is there so much going on? But by the end of it, I was like, actually, I quite enjoyed that. It felt like a longer show.
Yeah.
In that sense, but not in a bad way.
I mean, that was the good thing about Monday Night Raw back in the day, right? Was this idea of I don't know how to put it. This idea of kind of car crash television, I think they called it, didn't they?
I guess so. But it's not quite car crash. I mean, you still want to watch it, but it's not like you can't look away.
Yeah,
kind of
but I mean,
bad.
It's part of that whole Jerry Springer style feel that they're going for, I think, isn't it? And that's really what they're aiming for. So,
I mean, the Jerry Springer thing you could really say would be Loomis and Indy and their love story going on, but that's about it, really.
Loomis and Indy, yeah. What's going on with that then? Tell me about Dexter Loomis. Tell me about what's going on in his world.
Indy. That's what's going on in his world, and that's it. And that's what's going on in her world as well. And the way you're using that to get fired up by sending the tag team champs, which is, what are their names? Shitty Blackheart and the other one.
Shitty Blackheart and the other one, yeah. I think that's a fair assessment. Go for it.
To get fired up for their tag team championship match, which will be next week in a street fight.
Ooh, street fight. Are we thinking?
It's not a ladder match, but it's a street fight.
Have they changed the arena, or are they still at CWC? Have they dressed anything up?
CWC.
Changed any of the look of the? No. Have they changed the
No,
colour of the ropes, or?
no. Just the format.
Just the format in general. Okay, interesting.
So it looks the same, but it feels different.
Looks the same, feels different. Fair play. Let's have a look at NXT card as it stands. I'm noticing they've got the flying skull going off. That's interesting. Very, how to put it, Triple H. Yeah?
Yeah. Could say Motorhead, but yeah.
Well, yeah, that's fair. Cool. Let's take a look at the NXT Tuesday this week. Let's just go through its card and see exactly what happened. NXT Tuesday results. In the meantime, though, we haven't actually had a chance to talk about the releases in WWE that have happened post WrestleMania. We've got this grim post WrestleMania cull, which has happened now 2 years in a row on April 15th.
Budget cuts.
Yeah. You see, this happens a lot in the game industry as well. What happens in the game industry quite commonly is that just before there is a large investor meeting where they announce record profits because they've been cramming as many advertisements and product placements and microtransactions in the big hit games such as Call of Duty, for instance, or anything Ubisoft have done, they decide to take all the developers who have created that success, sack them, and then hire other people on a lower wage to develop the next game. And they do this on a yearly cycle. And the film industry does it as well, and obviously WWE are starting to take note with that, and really starting to make those budget cuts. Because you know full well that they will sign somebody before SummerSlam. Almost definitely.
Yeah. I mean, well, yeah, they've already got Monet, which is Ty Valkyrie from Impact. She's been brought.
Yeah.
Johnny Mundo's wife.
Yeah.
So
of course.
she's new to the thing. But that's about it really. At the moment.
Yeah, for now. But anything can happen, right? In WWE. Yeah.
That's what they say, right? And they don't just mean the product.
They don't mean the product. No, they mean everything. It's worrying that this is becoming a common WWE thing. Are we going to get to the point where every year after WrestleMania this happens? So we spend WrestleMania kind of in dread, hoping that our favourite indie star that we know I was expecting for a start Keith Lee to be gone.
Yeah, same here. Same with Aleister Black, but they both survived. Aleister Black is now back.
Is he? Are we back with Black?
He's doing vignettes on SmackDown. He's telling stories and wearing glasses now.
Oh, okay.
You know how Samoa Joe did that thing in the AJ Styles program where he did a story about AJ Styles. He's basically reading from a book and that kind of thing. So they're rehashing that already.
Nice. That's great, WWE. Now what they need, who's he reading the story to?
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh.
I fell asleep because of SmackDown. Normally good, but
you fell asleep because main roster, right? Well, I'm hoping that they put
goddamn Jason Jordan.
I'm hoping that they put him in a wild card tag team with somebody he's feuding with. How will they get along? Oh, dear me. Speaking of which, Randy Orton and Riddle.
RK Bro.
Apparently,
RK Bro.
Randy Orton really wanted to do it.
Apparently so, and it's happening. And everyone was like, "Oh, well, we're just gonna get RKO'd in the match, before the match, after the match, in between the match." No, it's a thing. It's going on. It's happening.
Yeah.
That was kayfabe though, obviously, but yeah, Randy Orton does want to do it, right?
Apparently,
even
so.
though he called it RKO bro on Twitter, but you know.
Apparently, he well, that was probably his spell check, right? I mean, he's not somebody who
Probably.
checks text messages before he tweets out. We know that from his history. I mean, I don't want to say that Randy Orton doesn't really give a shit about Twitter, but he kind of, some days he doesn't seem to give a shit about Twitter. Yeah.
Yes. Twitter bags shit. It's a circle, right?
Yeah. He likes to shit on Twitter like he likes to shit in bags, basically.
If you can't get a bag, just do it on Twitter, you know.
No, this is true. This is true. So it's telling me, interesting fact here, it's telling me that we're streaming at twice the recommended resolution and bitrate.
Excellent.
So it's saying I've got an excellent connection. So I think YouTube's just shitting the bed at it, which is fun. I mean, that means that it actually requires a poorer connection than Twitch. So we're no longer on Twitch, guys. We gave up on Twitch. So yeah.
We had a good run.
We had a good run. We did a full 3 episodes on Twitch. We're still, though, available on anchor.fm/Jfabe. We're also available where all good podcasts are found. You can talk to Jay at I am not a robot on Twitter if he's ever on. You can talk to me. Oh, the O's in robot are zeros, by the way. You can talk to me on Twitter at I'm lying. I don't even bother looking at Twitter anymore. I think our major place for outreach. I can already feel.
You should. The books have a new bio every day.
The what?
Young books have a new bio every day.
Do they?
They do. Yeah. With their Zoolander gimmick.
With their Zoolander gimmick. What?
Yeah.
I don't know. I must have missed it because I watched last week on AEW and I don't know what Zoolander is.
Zoolander, Ben Stiller, and
I
Owen
avoided
Wilson.
it because it had Ben Stiller in it.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
I would rather I'd rather eat Matt Damon's shit than watch a Ben Stiller film. Like, seriously, I just hate Ben Stiller.
I mean, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people do hate Ben Stiller. I think he's all right. He's all right. It's all right. It's not too bad.
For me, it's like one step above Rob Schneider. That's kind of where he sits for me.
I can see where you're coming from.
But
I can.
But at least...
If you need something that's easy watching that you don't have to pay attention to...
The only person I
there
find...
you go.
The only person I find more detestable than Ben Stiller and Rob Schneider, the number one person that I absolutely cannot stand, who everybody thinks is the funniest human being alive, is Jack fucking Black. It's not funny. It's not. It's just doing like air guitar and pretending that being Gen X is still cool. It's not funny. Like, it genuinely is not. It's just like, how many kicks can I do? I do a high kick. Then I say something silly. And if I can't write a joke, I just say it in his voice. Like that. That's it. That's Jack Black right there. There was one point in the like early noughties, just after Dave Grohl decided to come along and dress up with him as a lady for that music video. Which, by the way, Grohl is basically the Jack Black of the music industry. But there was that point in like the mid-noughties where Jack Black was in every fucking film, and they just used the same headshot for all of these films and just photoshopped it onto the body of some random guy, and it was always just him doing this. Exactly that face. Exactly that face. Jack Black.
That face made him a lot of money.
Jack Black, particularly in the noughties, wind your fucking neck in, mate.
Brought it back. He's bringing it back.
Bringing it back.
Bringing it back.
Bringing it back. That's it. That's it. I am processing on a higher bit rate today.
Wind your fucking neck in, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe it's just something to get a time machine and go back in time and tell him that.
That would be a really cool idea for a podcast. Go over time machine. Jay, have you thought about that? Have you thought about doing that?
It's crossed my mind.
I have a memory of me doing that.
Did that happen?
I don't know. NXT. Let's look at this card then. So, what's been going on NXT? Tell me about every star that's on NXT. I hear that their ratings have kind of gone up, obviously, as a result of...
That's because they moved to Tuesdays.
Yeah, when the only thing they have to compete with is Impact, which isn't really competition.
I've only watched the first hour of Rebellion, and it's really good.
It's sounding like it's really good in the same
No,
way
the not the NXT Championship, the X Division title belt was on first. My God, was that good?
Yeah.
My God, was that good? They even did a spot where they paid homage to Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels, and AJ Styles' triple threat match, where they did the monkey flip into the Hurricane Honor attempt into a powerbomb.
Okay.
But yeah, if you haven't, watch that match. Just that match. Ace Austin and the other two. I've forgotten what they're called, but it's great. It's great. Oh, TJP and the Canadian guy.
To be fair, as much as he got a bit boring in 205 Live, TJP puts on fairly good matches nowadays. His time in Japan has taught him a bit, and his time in Impact, he's really got some time to refine that storytelling, which is more that old Southern style storytelling is much more common in Impact, isn't it? Than you would see in a lot of... I mean, it's not NWA. I'm not saying it's NWA here. But that style of in-ring storytelling is a little bit more prominent in certain parts of Impact, yeah?
I mean, sort of. Not really.
More prominent than WWE is like work on an arm.
Look, yeah, I guess so. If you're gonna relate to WWE, then yes.
One of you work on an arm and then do a hot tag if there's two of you. Like that's how WWE tell a story, unless they're Triple H and they give them 4 years to tell the fucking story in the ring. NXT results. I'm moving to my phone.
Ace Austin lost. He was the champion, but he's probably going to go into the Impact title picture, which we all know by now Kenny Omega is champion, so that should be quite good.
Okay. So we're going to go with Bleacher Report today, and just go through what they said, talk about it. I'm doing a bit of a Conrad Thompson here, which is a great way to not do research, by the way.
He's such a bad presenter. Have you watched the Dark Side of the Ring Confidential?
I haven't, no.
There's no rapport back and forth with the creators. He just cuts them off and then just like goes into like the next thing's happening now, and it's just like, oh, right, okay.
Yeah, no, he's very much that. I mean, I don't know if you've listened to his podcasts.
No.
For a start,
don't like the guy.
For a start, like I know we're not like Channel 4 or anything, but
we're Channel 5.
Well, that's the thing. He's like Channel 682 on in Freeview. You know what I mean? He his recording quality is always like the drizzling shits. Like I don't think it like that WWE more something more else to wrestle with or whatever it was called. Like if you look at the actual live podcast setup that they have, that the WWE guys have to work with and then edit over, it's just the drizzling shits. It looks like shit, that entire thing. I mean, I know that we've not really got anything to show off here because you seem to be existing in a plane entirely made up of white, and I'm not allowed to look behind the curtains or Taz will switch me off again. But it doesn't look great like that. Anyway, so it's an NXT show. It was supposed to be really short, and what we've done is shit on Conrad Thompson, talk about the format for 5 minutes, complain about Jack Black. Mate, this is how you do. This is how you do a live podcast.
Shall we just go through the dark side of the ring and say what's happening in the next season?
Yeah, let's do it. Dark side of the ring, mate. What is going on with Dark side of the ring?
Well, let me tell you.
Please do. And while
so
you're
the
use your PC
first episode,
because I can't use my PC browser because it'll fuck up this thing that's going on with the shooting.
I've got it in my notes. It's all in my notes.
Mate, go for it. He does notes. I literally put a GIF up, a PNG up about 6 minutes ago before we started, and just whacked us straight online, mate.
Well, the first part of the show was just off the cuff, mate. It was all off the cuff.
This rapport.
So
this is energy, man.
I know, right? If any people would watch.
This is our first show. You never know. People might be watching. We've got a concurrent viewer that I'm not sure whether it's me. Like, genuinely, the thing is, it gives you a window, because Twitch doesn't do this. It gives you a window, and then it says concurrent viewers 1, and then it's like, so is somebody actually watching this, or is it just me watching this? Either way, you know, I
Hi, Mitch. Oh wait.
Of course, if you are, watching this, please feel free to interact with us in the comments. There you go. You can say something at any point,
and we will answer any question.
We will, because we've never had one before, ever. Right, Dark Side of the Ring. What are we expecting?
Dark Side of the Ring, season 3.
Yeah.
So we're starting with a 2-hour premiere for Brian Pillman.
Oh, that's going to be so good. What were your thoughts on Brian Pillman?
What, as a wrestler, as a performer?
Greatest Hall of Famer who never was, or overrated?
Greatest Hall of Famer that never was. If you're going to give me those two options.
Well, how would you?
The master at working 3 different companies to secure himself the first permanent contract for WWE. Then yeah, he's a legend.
That's fair. I really like Brian Pillman. He could make anything into a hit. It was one of those stories of great creativity, and the trials that come with that creativity.
Yeah, there is that, and they're going to dive straight into that in that episode, I would say.
Yeah, well, what else can you talk about when you got Brian Pillman, right?
Yes, I agree. I'm Conrad Thompson now. Let's move on to the next episode. The next episode is WCW New Japan Pro Wrestling Collision in Korea.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's Nick Gage. Ultimate Warrior.
Sorry, Nick Gage. What's a Nick Gage?
And Nick Gage is a deathmatch guy. He's the one that fucked up David Arquette.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I know that guy. Yeah, that should be interesting.
John Moxley had many matches with him.
I know who we're talking about now. That's exciting.
And then the next one's Ultimate Warrior.
Ultimate Warrior.
Grizzly Smith and family.
Digging deep into the backwaters there, aren't they?
I'm not sure who Grizzly Smith is.
That's why I said
not gonna lie.
Well,
and then
let's have a look. Grizzly Smith. I've definitely heard the name before. Aurelian Smith, Grayson County, Texas. So yeah,
killed everybody. Is that what happened?
That's where I remember. World Championship Wrestling Road Agent. World Wrestling Federation as a backstage official, and his competition stuff was mostly in WWF, but then he worked with Bill Watts in Mid-South later on. And there were some accusations. He's Jake the Snake Roberts' son. Dad, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Well, there we go.
There we go. That's gonna get
There we go.
interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. Little bit. On to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Dynamite Kid.
Dynamite Kid. Okay. Dynamite Kid should be good.
Well, yeah. Obviously, whole steroid abuse, then become paralyzed. Bit of a knobhead. Bret Hart stole all his moves. Second half. WWE
yes.
steroid trials.
I remember this very, very controversial statement that you made during our WrestleMania weekend. Currently available at anchor.fm/Jfabe.
Go
and
listen.
Where all good podcasts are found. And
go listen.
Maybe on Twitch TV. You never know. Might still be there. You will of course be able to catch a live replay of this on Twitch. Maybe. I don't know. I might put one up. I might not. Anyway, carry on.
What about how I think that Bret Hart stole all of Dynamite Kid's moves and then just used sharpshooter instead of a headbutt?
Yes. You are
story,
just
though.
waiting for a troll.
True story.
I tell you what, if people ever
it's true story. If you go back and watch Dynamite Kid single matches, you'll see exactly what I mean. He even punches like him, he kicks like him, he completely stole his style. But anyway.
Are you sure this wasn't just the Stu Hart style?
Well,
and he just had a similar body type.
Well, shut up, Rich.
I mean, Chris Benoit also is a little bit like that, except a bit more invisible now.
Well, I mean, shut up, Rich. WWE steroid trials is in the second half.
I will look forward to the steroid trials. There are numerous podcasts that already outlay the steroid trials. I believe Business Wars is one of them, or it might be Legal Wars. Yeah, there are two of there's Business Wars and Legal Wars. Business Wars does the Monday Night Wars over the course of 4 episodes, and that is just a fascinating listen. Outsider's perspective on the Monday Night Wars, looking at it from a corporate perspective, really interesting. And then Legal Wars, they have a steroid episode as well, which again looks at it from a legal perspective and less from a wrestling perspective. So I will be interested to find out the wrestling insider take on that story, because I won't whenever I hear that story, it's always from the outside. And
okay, well now you're going to get on the inside.
That's the interesting one for me. Please continue.
FMW.
Excellent. That's full motion video, right?
Wow. So FMW is a Japanese company. Normally specializes in women's death matches.
Okay.
I'm not sure of the controversy in that, but their matches are normally fucking insanely brutal, and they're slicing each other's heads open, just like they would do in BJW.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely crazy stuff. Then it's Luna Vachon.
Mm-hmm. Luna Vachon is an interesting one again. Daughter of Mad Dog Vachon, of course. And with a lot of...
Is she not the niece of Mad Dog Vachon?
She's one of them. Yeah, she's both, mate.
Oh, right, okay. So this is what it's going to be about.
No, I genuinely
That's what it is.
I genuinely don't know what a relationship is, but she's definitely somewhere from his clan. I'm going to actually have to put my contact lenses in live on air, because my glasses have just done that thing where they break. And in order to keep the conversation going, I'm going to have to do that instead of repair them. So please continue, Jay, and everyone else can just pretend I'm not here.
So Rich is gone. You can't see him put any contacts in.
Yeah.
So there is also the WWE's Plane Ride from Hell.
Sorry.
I'm guessing that's going to be to do with blood money and being held hostage and this, that, and the other. So
yeah. Oh no,
that should
no,
be
no.
interesting.
That won't be the blood money one. That will be the Plane Ride from Hell, where Kurt Angle ended up being choked out by the Undertaker. Brock Lesnar ended up having a fight with someone. Vince McMahon, they caused X amount of damage. Stone Cold Steve Austin left the company after a big old flare up with Vince McMahon. This was on the way back from not Capital Carnage. What's the UK pay-per-view from '97?
Rebellion.
It was either Rebellion or it was the one before, but I mean, effectively, there's this legendary plane ride where they caused absolute havoc. The pilot threatened to ground the plane. Everyone was tired. Everyone got really, really drunk. Numerous people ended up with injuries from the plane ride back from the wrestling show that they had all just competed in. Stone Cold ended up deciding to leave the business pretty soon after it for a period. No, wait. I'm in the wrong period. The plane ride from Hell's anyway. It's a legendary plane ride. It's somewhere around then.
Well, that's going to be on the show.
It's a legendary series of stories. If you ever watching anything like WWE talk about the plane ride from hell in a lot of their documentaries. Mick Foley talks about it in his book as well. It's a bit of magical history. I can see again. And now I'm back. Jay went quiet. Jay is going quiet, ladies and gentlemen.
It's two. I lost. What?
Yeah,
I'm
Jay,
here. I'm right here.
Jay is definitely about 6 hours behind us.
I'm here
at the moment. So while Jay continues to wait to catch up, I am just going to mention that we are available at anchor.fm/Jfabe, which is what I always say whenever we have technical issues. And yeah, hopefully Jay should catch up and be in sync.
Hello.
Hello, Jay.
Hello.
Hi there. Excellent. That is perfect timing there. Because you're gonna take us through the rest of the show. The rest of Dark Side of the Ring, right?
Yeah, so the plane ride from hell was Insurrection 2002.
There we go. So I knew it was a UK show. I got that right?
Yeah.
In fact, the only reason
Definitely got that right.
I got confused with Capital Carnage or Rebellion because I watched a documentary recently where Stone Cold Steve Austin talked about having a concussion after that show and missing the flight. But yeah, so that there was always stuff going on with the flights back from the UK. But
so Michael Hayes punched Bradshaw after heavily drinking.
Yeah.
And then
you never want to punch Bradshaw. Like, that guy is like, if there is anybody in the room who is going to injure you, and that person.
And then Sean Waltman cut off his mullet. Cut off Michael Hayes' mullet whilst he was asleep.
Nice.
Yeah, that should be a good episode.
Yeah. Everyone was very tired at that point.
Well, the next one's going to be XPW. After that, it's going to be Johnny K9, which is Bruiser Bedlam. And then finishing off with Chris Kanyon.
Oh, Chris Kanyon. Chris Canyon's one of those. He's the Hall of Famer that never was, in my opinion.
Was he really that good, though?
I don't know.
Not really. Not for me.
Yeah, you see, I might be a little bit flavoured by him, just because, you know, he was a very good looking guy.
He committed suicide.
Yeah, I really liked his style. I thought his style was really good. It was the type of style that was very forward thinking, in the ring. But I feel that because he took the lucha libre style and then just overcomplicated it with this La Mistral kind of weird kind of Canadian thing going on. I don't even know how to describe it. It was like a hybrid between two very diverse styles, and I reckon that would have influenced the business quite heavily had he have carried on, but he didn't, obviously. Yeah, God, I look good without my glasses on.
You look really pixelated over here.
Oh, well, I assure you, I'm not. Right, on to NXT then. We're now 35 minutes and 51 seconds into this half-hour show, and we are just about to approach the actual story itself, which is NXT. Catching up on NXT.
I think it's time for a break, don't you?
We're not doing breaks. Surely we're not doing breaks. We can't do breaks, mate. We're live on stream. I don't even have a break card set up. I don't even know how you go on a break when you're streaming live on YouTube.
Is that a thing? Is that not a thing? Is it a straight through thing? I didn't even know.
I don't know, but right, let's do NXT. So what are the results of NXT? Let's find out. What we're going to be doing moving forward is we're going to be doing.
So the first match was Dakota Kai versus Martinez. Mercedes Martinez.
Okay.
Match was absolute fire. Absolute fire. Yeah. I mean, they made Dakota Kai look really strong against her as well. It wasn't a squash match. Dakota Kai was really good at working on her left arm, using her own weight that she has anyway. To obviously emphasize that she's working on that arm as well. Really good. There was this really bad spot where Dakota Kai went to a leapfrog and Mercedes caught the leg and it sort of went wrong. And with the knee injuries and stuff like that, it looked like a bad landing. But yeah, I mean, if you haven't watched this yet, Rich, you need to watch this match. It's fire.
I will definitely go out of my way to do that. Bleacher Report said Mercedes Martinez tried to take a dominant first step in this match. Dakota Kai answered with a DDT and corner running low boot. The two went back and forth in a competitive clash where the captain of Team Kicks sent her opponent to the floor with a corner cow kick. Kai could not stop Martinez down as the latter answered back with an emphatic discus forearm. Martinez sent...
Oh, that forearm.
Yeah?
Yeah. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. And then there's lots of adverts with pizza in them. And then I wanted pizza. Our US fans will understand that. But there's a lot of pizza adverts.
Oh, okay. Fair play. Were you just watching wrestling, were you?
I was just, watching pro wrestling.
Yeah.
Just watch pro wrestling. Yeah, that's what I do.
Right, sometimes you
I just watch pro wrestling.
Yeah, you watch pro
wrestling. I just watch pro wrestling. Yeah.
.io. Martinez sent the captain of Team Kick outside, where Martinez and Raquel Gonzalez met face to face. A brawl broke out that led to NXT Women's Champion booting her.
It wasn't really a brawl. It wasn't really a brawl.
Was it just an outside fight?
It wasn't even it turned into a brawl, but it was like Raquel went up to her, started on her, she got smacked in the face, then Martinez went into the ring, kneed Dakota Kai in the face, which looked absolutely fucking awesome. Picked up on her shoulders to do a finisher, and then Raquel came in and smacked her, and then they had a brawl. That's what happened. No. Police report, you're wrong. What are you about?
Fair play. So it wasn't a brawl.
Yeah, well, after, yeah, sort of. More of a beatdown than a brawl.
More of a beatdown.
By Raquel onto, yeah.
Fair play. Moving on from that then, Onslaught continued. Martina, this was a disqualification after she booted, after the NXT Women's Champion booted a potential challenger in the face, caused a disqualification. Champion continued the onslaught on Martinez to make a point about her place at the top of the division. She threw her face first into a barricade screen, which I imagine did that cool fuzzy effect that is clearly pre-rendered in After Effects and isn't at all what a screen would do if it was botching.
Nah, there was none of that really. Not this time. It's not
so
Takeover.
Carried on. Oh, okay. They didn't even bother then.
Yeah.
So they give it a B plus. Their analysis.
I'd give it an A.
Okay.
Really good.
Well, they believe that before the non-finish, this was an excellent physical opener. Disqualification was completely unnecessary, and Gonzalez versus Martinez is interesting, though the heel champion facing the face challenger may take some getting used to, as Martinez has mostly played the dominant force in her rivalries to date.
I would say it wasn't necessary, but coming out of this, Kota Kai looked fucking strong, and yeah, I would say that she's probably in contention for a title in the title picture sooner rather than later, and I see them breaking up Raquel Gonzalez and Kota Kai, sorry, pretty soon. I think I've said this before, but it looks more and more likely as this storyline evolves.
Okay, fair play. Grizzled young veterans meet Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher. I imagine it's not for brunch.
Toothless Timmy.
Cameron Grimes went to a special store.
Oh no, there's more on that. They've completely missed something out of that. So within that segment, Toothless Timmy brought back the take your shoes off if you hate what was Zach Gibson chant.
Oh,
they brought it back.
Nice.
And then Tommaso Ciampa smacks him over the head with his boot. It's great. It's a great segment. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, fair play. Is that sarcasm or did you actually enjoy it?
No, it wasn't sarcasm. It was really good, yeah.
Nice.
I'm looking forward to them. That should be really good. So then obviously they'll go together and then we'll get a winner out of that. Then MSK will be next and this, that and the other. But just to bring that chant back was made the segment.
Nice. I do miss that chant, and I miss UK crowds in wrestling. I don't miss UK wrestling at the moment. They've been very naughty and need to stand in the corner a little longer. But UK crowds, we need to get more.
Some of the best crowds. Yeah.
Yeah.
We are the best crowds. that's the fact.
It's the football, isn't it? It's the football's done it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
all the football chants come into wrestling and then they get changed over and then it's just beautiful, isn't it? Really.
Just going back and some of the past chapters, if you're not used to British crowds and you've not really kind of looked much into the British wrestling scene beyond NXT UK, just go and have a look at Progress Wrestling on the WWE network, the things that are in there.
They've got a few good things in there, but the newer stuff I'm not keen on. It's alright. It's got the Progress feel, but it's a bit.
Yeah,
but if you want to see all the better stuff, then you want to go into Progress on Demand.
Progress on Demand's very good. My only real qualm at the moment is actually giving them my money, because of obviously some of.
I'm pretty sure they don't charge me.
You think they've forgotten to charge you for a while?
It's just a long time. Just I've never been. I think I've been charged for months.
Really? Maybe they've stopped taking money off people because they realise that no one should be paying for a company that's so lax or has been so lax on their staff protection.
Pretty sure I've had 2 notifications of when I've paid, and that is it.
Oh wow, you're making off out like a bandit there. You can see other things.
Probably shouldn't be saying that on the live stream, but hey, cheers, Progress.
Yeah, it's fine.
Thanks.
Fine. It's on them, mate. It's on them.
Appreciate it.
We will be doing an episode later this month, I think, where we talk about the best place to get different indie wrestling. What's the best deal, especially if you're looking into new indie places. We've talked about doing this for a while. on YouTube, and I think it's time that we started talking about alternate wrestling streaming services that over WWE. We definitely have our favourites, but I think we've kind of dabbled enough that we can talk about where is good to spend your money. I think there's one place that is absolutely perfect to spend your money on
Disney Plus.
Disney Plus. It is Disney Plus. It's definitely not Peacock, I can tell you that much. Now, there is one place which is the best place to spend your money when it comes to indie wrestling content, and it's not Progress. It's not where you think it is.
Rev Pro.
It's Power Slam TV, mate.
Oh yeah, Power Slam TV.
Power Slam TV, $3.99 a month. They are not sponsors of the show. I am just a customer who likes them. $3.99 a month, and you get basically content that's 6 months old or older, but it's from over 400 different independent wrestling organisations.
There's a lot of CZW on there.
There's a lot of CZW. There's everything CZW has ever done, barring anything they've aired within the last 6 months. Everything. I mean, it is literally the complete CZW back catalogue, but we've just...
Has he got GCW on there as well?
I haven't been able to find much GCW on there. I don't know how much there is, but it does have Future Pro, all 9 episodes, which obviously you get a lot of classic... That's pretty much the start of British indie wrestling, right? At least post 2001. You know, it's the rebirth of British wrestling, right there. Or am I thinking of Future Shock? I don't know. But anyway, very good. Moving on, because we're going around the houses today. It's like we haven't talked in 2 weeks. So Cameron Grimes went to a special store to buy the biggest and most expensive watch possible. Ted DiBiase made fun of the technical Savage's watch, telling him he had the true $1 million watch. The grizzled young veterans demanded MSK give them their one-on-one title match for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Tommaso Ciampa interrupted with the returning Timothy Thatcher. Ciampa and Thatcher started a brawl, standing tall over Zach Gibson and James Drake. Xia Li spoke in Mandarin about the dominance of Tai Shay before the mystery leader of the group covered the screen in smoke. Isaiah Swerve Scott told Leon Ruff he was proud of him and wanted to end him in a Falls Count Anywhere match. Grade B. I think they grade it by segment. By like quarter of an hour segment.
That segment was gold. I really enjoyed that segment.
Well,
because the way the segment was, he was in his studio because obviously he's a recording rap artist as well. So he was in there surrounded by producing equipment, and he cut a really, really good promo actually. So yeah, fuck Bleacher Report right now. It was much better than what they're saying. They're just completely fobbing it off. And then we're gonna get a Force Count Anywhere match with Ruff and Swerve next week. Like that is going to be the match to watch next week easily.
Well, I mean, it's a good rating. B is not a bad rating
yeah,
at all.
It's not a bad rating, but it was better than B. For a heel promo, someone who's cocky and rash.
It's the whole
full of himself.
Of an hour block is what they're doing there though.
Oh, because there were so many promos and
they
okay.
do it in quarter-hour blocks. Basically, it's like they either rate a match or they rate that quarter of an hour. So the smartest thing
they gave you the whole vignette for, was it a vignette or would it be more of a, anyway, the thing that Cameron Grimes did, they gave you the whole thing. Like it started off that way and it built up to near the end, so we had 2 parts in it. Like so this gave you the whole thing straight away. I mean, spoiling the show, mate. Spoiling the show. But next up after that we got Storm and Rima.
Well, before we say that, have you got anything else to say that? Did you want to hear what the Bleacher Report thought about that segment, what their analysis section said?
Yeah, sure, why not?
The smartest thing NXT could do here was to let this feud build slowly. If this was Monday Night Raw or even Friday Night SmackDown, it is likely GYV, grizzled young veterans of course, would have fought Ciampa and Thatcher on the same night. It's important to wait for the right moment on this Dusty Rhodes Classic rematch. MSK is preoccupied with Legado del Fantasma, but one of these two teams should be the next to compete against the champions at TakeOver. Ciampa and Thatcher have a chance to truly find their next gear as tag team against GYV. Yeah, I think that's
fair dues.
Yeah. Tony Storm, Zayda Ramier?
Sure.
What's the name, Jay?
Reme.
Right then. So what's going on with these guys then?
Nothing really. So it was meant to be a squash match, but that all changed. So basically, Tony Storm came out, cut a really weak ass promo. They needed more oomph for a heel. It was terrible. Needed more oomph. There was a start. There was no middle, and there was a very, very soft end to her promo. It was like, all right, okay. So the match itself was meant to be a squash match. It was obviously built as a squash match, and Toni Storm is using a lot of like power moves because she's now a heel. I mean, why change your style because you're a heel? I mean, just use what brought you to the dance. Don't change anything. Just change the character, right?
Yeah.
She's not doing that. She's changing the style in the ring as well, and it makes absolutely no sense. So yeah, she controlled all the match, beating the crap out of Rayma all the way through, and then we had Zoe Stark come down, cause a distraction, which led to Rayma hitting a really, really nice shooting star press actually for the win. Part way through, it's like really nice hang time. You didn't think she's going to get the rotation, then she just sort of went round.
Okay.
Really, really nice. But yeah, it should have been a squash match, but it turned into a loss for Storm just to build up the Zoe Stark storyline that they're building at the moment.
Fair play. All in all, so Bleacher Report, grade C. They said for that area, for that segment. They said it wasn't much of a match for Ramia, but it was an important moment in her early career. Thanks to the woman who has been head of the next generation of NXT talent, Ramia picked up a surprise win over one of NXT's absolute best female wrestlers. Storm will get a wing back, potentially getting one over Stark as well. However, the moment was enough to put Ramir in the conversation. She now has a chance to start competing as more than enhancement talent, potentially forming an alliance with Stark if Saray is focusing on singles gold. NXT Women's Division is already great, but the depth continues to impress no matter who leaves for greener pastures.
Did you see that match with Zoe Stark and Saray? Did you see that match? That was some takeover shit right there. That was amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Saray's first match on NXT, yeah, absolutely amazing. Go back, watch it because you will enjoy that. Women's wrestling in NXT is picking up.
Where does it? How can you pick up the greatest women's wrestling division in the West?
Well, they're doing it. Like it just gets better every single week. The matches that they're putting on are just so tight at the moment.
Well, moving on from that, to earn an NXT North American title match, Bronson Reed, Austin Theory. Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae glared at Bronson Reed on his way to the stage. Ooh. Indy Hartwell was clearly sulking as she walked out with the way Austin Theory was far too confident early.
This is how it actually went on the show, though. This is how it went. So, basically, we had Bronson do his thing, and then you had like Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae just standing there, intimidating him, right? And then Austin Theory comes out like, "Why are you standing in the dark?" Before he went out to have his fight. So they did that thing, and then you had Bronson come out, and then they cut to a promo with LA Knight. What? That makes no sense. Why would you do that?
Very little sense.
So then they cut to a promo with LA Knight, and then Everrise came out, and then they plugged their podcast or wherever they do their radio thing they do, and then back to the match, and then you got the Way coming out. It was like, what?
That's a bit weird.
That was confusing, and this was all in the first 40 minutes. Like,
oh wow! What? We've still got another 40 minutes to go. Fuck me, better.
Just how much they put into 40 minutes. Yeah.
Austin Theory far too confident early. After a super kick outside by Gargano, Theory hit a diving crossbody outside to take emphatic advantage. The Colossal fought back with his pure power, nearly taking the win with a powerful chokeslam. Theory answered back, leaving both laid out. Dexter Lumis arrived to try to get close to Indy Hartwell, who seemed uncertain of him. Chaos ensued where Lumis took a hard elbow from Theory after pushing Hartwell out of the way. The Colossal ended it with the Tsunami. Reed defeated Theory by pinfall to become the new #1 contender for the NXT North American Championship. Grade C+.
I mean, that's fair. It wasn't a great match. It was great just to put over Bronson and also continue the love storyline between Lumis and Indy. Lindy did great character work, but she was sick at the ringside all the way through the match. Didn't break character.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Reed versus Theory was fine, but overbooked was what they felt about it, which I think is, yeah.
Yeah, he's a big guy, but then so is Austin Theory. So when he dives into you with a shoulder blocking tackle, you shouldn't really be bouncing off him. It should do something, but yeah. Other than that, I wouldn't say it was a solid match, but it wasn't a bad match.
Yeah, just overbooked, just like way too much going on, right?
But then
way too many opportunities for things to stop working.
Should we find out who produced it? Because we know that Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano produces matches as well, so maybe they had a hand in it. Maybe that's their fault. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, that's the problem when you do have wrestlers produce stuff, especially if they're like seen as locker room leaders, is that sometimes they can end up letting too many people get their shit in, and you end up with situations that can be difficult. Cool. Killian Dane, Drake Maverick versus Imperium. Thoughts going into this?
See, so many storylines happening in NXT right now, like the Attitude Era. This is one of the reasons why I said Attitude Era, because
closer to AEW at least, because there is a lot of interconnectivity between wrestlers that you don't see on the main roster happening here.
Yeah, I think they have been watching Being the Elite, to be fair, and taking notes, but they've done it in their own form, and it's really helped NXT pick themselves up.
Yeah, that's probably fair. I mean, something had to happen to the WWE formula at some point, because this is what they've been doing has not been it. They present in a very stiff, very MMA based style where it is one competition after another, which is fine, but the beauty of professional wrestling is that wrestlers can interact with each other and can have multiple conflicting relationships crossing over within the same space, you know. And just watch one of the Royal Rumbles from just watch the 1998 Royal Rumble as a great example of that. Every single wrestler in there at any given time has a connected relationship with every other wrestler in that ring, and a history, a series of conflicting needs, whereas a lot of the main roster has been very much kind of two wrestlers locked in a feud. That's it. They don't interact with any other wrestlers. They don't talk to anyone else. They don't. If they do have matches, it's just to enhance one or the other in order to build up towards the feud. It's pretty fucking dire, to be honest. But for me, this is the way that NXT starts to break itself away and starts to pave the way for a post Vince McMahon future. As the business model that it creates now.
I can sense him dying. Let's change the product now.
Well, I do like the fact that, as you said, that I lick my lips, but yeah, it's I mean, nobody wishes that, obviously.
Taste it.
But I mean, a post Vince McMahon future, that's what it looks like. You know, is wrestling that acts like wrestling again, rather than acting like a different product. Drake Maverick.
So yeah.
Ooh, go on.
Yeah, so basically Emporium and Drake and Killian. That's why I said that, because they've obviously got their own thing going off at the moment. The storyline with this one is Wolf doesn't want Killian being hurt, and he also doesn't want Imperium being attacked by him. He wants him in Imperium. So all running buddies, insanity. They were insanity together, weren't they? And things and all of that, because he knows they can be a monster. But Drake's worried that he's just going to turn his back on him. So before there was a segment where he was like, "I've watched wrestling before, and I know what you're going to do. Yeah. You're either going to attack me when you get down there. When I get to tag, you're just going to jump off the apron, or you're going to attack me at the end." Blah blah blah. So basically, got trust issues, thinking that Killian's going to end up joining Emporium.
Okay.
Into the match.
Ah, interesting. I mean, what they say is that Drake Maverick made it clear he did not trust Killian Dane going into the surprise match. He felt like the Beast of Belfast could turn against him. Dane started to ease Maverick's concerns. However, as with most of their matches, Maverick tagged in and got dominated by the heels. Imperium kept him away from his partner repeatedly and then knocked the Beast of Belfast off the apron at the key moment.
But then Spud still got it. Spud's selling like a badass. You could even say he's selling just like Shawn Michaels. His selling ability is absolutely brilliant when he's not overdoing it.
He's like a cross between Shawn Michaels and Spike Dudley when it comes to selling, I think. Like, you can...
Is that because he looks like Spike but sells like Shawn?
He sells like Shawn but can also ragdoll like Spike.
Okay, yeah. All right.
I think, because Shawn reacts to everything, whether he should or shouldn't. He reacts to everything. He's very facial. When Spud knows when it's time to go limp. That's like his Spike Dudley turn at that moment, and he goes limp, and then you're worried because you stop reacting. And it's when he stops reacting it becomes a problem. The smaller member of the team almost lost hope, but Dane ran into the ring to make the save.
Wait, are you just matching what I'm thinking to Bleach Report? Is that what's happening right now?
I'm just pacing the episode, mate. I'm using a Conrad Thompson trick.
Okay. All right, cool.
The smaller.
Hey, Conrad.
Well, hey, Conrad. Fucking hate you, mate.
Wind your neck in.
Wind your neck in.
Everything.
He was the original wind your neck in guy as well, wasn't he? Like, I think he was literally the first person that I told to wind their neck in on this show.
Yeah, that's right, you do,
yeah.
No, I'm saying it. Carry on.
Wolf held back because of... So Wolf held back, hitting Dane with a steel chair because of their history. Action broke down. Maverick had too much in this contest, diving into the arms of Fabian Archner, I don't know how they call it. Imperium finished him off with an elevated spinning uppercut. The Beast of Belfast looked over his injured friend. Imperium defeated Drake and Maverick via pinfall.
Does it help if I say it's Italian?
Sorry?
Does it help if I tell you it was Italian?
Yes. I don't know how, but it does.
Okay.
It got a B+ from the Bleacher Report. Jay, would you say that was fair?
I mean, it was a good match. I want to give it B+ though.
What would you give it?
I'll say about C, just to C. It wasn't one of the better matches on the card at all. It wasn't. They gave the first match B+ as well, and it was nowhere near as good as that.
Well, what they said effectively was the layers of solid storytelling in this match elevated it. Maverick went in ready to be betrayed. Instead, Dane fought his absolute hardest to protect his friend, and it was heartwarming even in a loss. The man who showed some hesitation was Wolf, and
storytelling wise, then yes. Storytelling wise, yes, but match quality, no. I mean, they're fourth veterans. They're four veterans that should know better. They should be doing better work than they are.
Wow.
That's my opinion.
Well, there you go. Imperium, Killian Dane, and Drake Maverick. Sort your shit out, guys. Because Jay, with all of his exclusive wrestling insight, has just giving you a dressing down. Giving you a dressing down, mate. Moon and Blackheart versus Aliyah and Jissy.
That's what Amber Moon. That's her name.
Yeah.
Not the other one.
Ember Moon and Shitzy Blackheart received flowers. Frankie Monet said they were from Dexter Loomis. which caused the two champions to argue over who they were truly for. I assume it was, no, they're for you. No, they're for you.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. That's right. But they were sent by Candice LeRae.
Ooh. Bit of intrigue there.
Just to get her fired up for the match.
This would lead to Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell attacking NXT Women's champions from behind as they headed to the ring. The brutal attack left Moon and Blackheart unable to compete. Aliyah and Jessie Camilla celebrated in the ring like they had won.
Yeah, they thought they won. They got the titles and held it up and ran around with it.
Okay.
We're the champions now.
William Regal announced later in the night Moon and Blackheart would put their titles on the line against The Way in a street fight. Arash Markazi tried to interview Adam Cole, who was preoccupied. He was not bothered with his loss to Kyle O'Reilly. He saw himself as the face of NXT, and he laughed at the idea that O'Reilly or Karrion Kross would take his spot. The camera showed O'Reilly watching the interview, shaking his head. Ooh, ominous stuff. B.
Yeah, he's got the whole attitude that he's better than everybody else. He's bigger than the title. Basically, that's his attitude.
That's fine. What he needs is a dressing down then.
Kyle O'Reilly was watching it, so they're obviously going to have another match at some point.
Is this kind of... Do you reckon this is going to be an intermediate feud? It feels like it needs to be an
the one that runs
feud.
through the whole of WWE, like Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose was supposed to until he left.
Yeah, something like that. I reckon that's what they're looking for, is that kind of, they keep up, or a KO and Sami Zayn kind of thing, where they're never quite on the same page ever again, and they just fall back on it whenever they don't have anything to do for either superstar, but they still want to keep them on TV. Because
they can always put on a good match.
Well, yeah.
Did Bleacher Report mention Pete Dunne's promo?
If they did, they didn't mention it during this segment.
All right. Anyway, it was very, very early 90s chav.
Oh, okay.
He's just telling everyone that he's better than everybody else and he can beat anyone up, basically. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great.
I'm better than everyone else. My name's Pete Dunne. I'm from Dudley.
I don't need smoke and mirrors. Is he from Birmingham?
I don't know. No, I thought he was from Dudley.
What's his face from Dudley?
Oh, Tyler Bate.
Tyler Bate. Yeah.
Oh. I'm Tyler Bate. I'm from Dudley. There you go. I can do both. They're both going to be characters, mate. They're both on this show.
Well, the other one was more Dudley. Though.
Yeah, but... All right. That's that. I've lost it. I went Geordie.
What do you mean characters? What about characters for?
Well, everyone needs characters, mate. We love characters.
Oh, the characters. I could be a character.
You could. Maybe you are a character.
Maybe I am a character.
This is actually just me. It's a ventriloquist act. Jay isn't a real person. He's actually another webcam. He's actually another webcam that's pointing at my hand with a smiley face drawn at it. I'm like doing that. I'm doing that thing with the lips where you do that with your hand. If you're listening to the podcast at anchor.fm/Jfabe, you're just missing this whole joke. Get on YouTube, guys. MS Kushida versus Legado del Fantasma. They misspelt MS Kushida. I don't know. Why are they calling it MS Kushida?
MSK. Oh, there was a segment near the start of the show actually with MSK and Kushida.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So another one in the 40 minutes, like how much they crammed in.
Wesley and Nash Carter.
Wesley and Nash Carter.
Yep, Wesley and Nash Carter.
It's Wesley.
Yeah, Wesley.
Wesley.
Damn it, Wesley. There you go. That's
two names apparently.
Another character there.
You're like Kimberly from Impact. It's now Wesley.
Okay.
2 names,
but
but they're one.
But can't I just call him Wesley?
You can if you want.
Cool. His finishing move should be like a Katara Crusher, but he calls it the Wesley Crusher.
Yeah,
Star
that's
Trek
good.
reference.
Like it. Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
May the Force be with you. I love
That's
sci-fi.
what they say, right?
I know sci-fi so well. Nash Carter, they showed their appreciation for Kushida for helping them transition easily into NXT. Legado del Fantasma's Santos Escobar, Joaquin Wilde, and Raul Mendoza promised to get their revenge together before they claimed the titles that would be theirs. MS Kushida looked like a well-oiled machine for the trio early. The team pushed Legado del Fantasma out of the ring, standing.
What they were doing in the ring ended up me saying, "You can't type that fast." In the words of JR, if you blink, you'll miss it. Like, it was that fast what they were doing. It was great.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. I mean, if you gave me like another 5 minutes, I might have been able to do it, but I just didn't want to stop watching it. It was that good.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, we've had a few matches in our time where we've both done play-by-play and wrote play-by-play, where we've just not been able to do play-by-play because we couldn't type and stop watching in order to do it. Super Strong Style.
I did. What did I do? I did Lucha Bros and Young Bucks.
Yeah, that was one of them. The match with the match between that guy from Barrow and what's his name? The ambassador of Kick Attitude. Black belt in kicking your ass.
Chris Ridgway
and O'Reilly. Oh, one of the greatest matches of 2019. I couldn't stop watching that. That was one of my favourite matches of all time. That's on Progress. Super Strong Style.
I had the pleasure of seeing that live.
You did have the pleasure of seeing that live? You can almost feel like you're there.
When I was selling tickets.
You can almost feel like you're there by listening to mine and Jay's analysis of that back in the archives at anchor.fm/Jfabe. It's on our Progcast series. That is episodes 1, 2, and 3. There is some interesting stuff that goes on there that I can't quite remember. Moving on. Lee was left alone in the ring, taking a 3-on-1 beating. Only Carter could make the save, returning to the corner in time to rescue Lee. However, the action broke down after that. Kushida took the Phantom Driver when he tried to help.
Oh yeah, Del Fantasma completely destroyed Wesley. Completely destroyed him in the corner. They were just tagging in and out, doing running moves into the corner. Fast and aggressive offense. But by the time anyone could come and save him, it was just a bit late, really. Nash Carter got back to the apron, came in, hit a few guys, and then got dropped. Kushida refused help, came back to the ring. He got, after his powerbomb into the table, and then he got Escobar's finisher. I forgot what it's called, so I always want to call it Cradle Shock. Chris Sabin uses it. But yeah, match was absolutely insane.
Escobar's finisher. What would you call it? Escobar.
Shock.
Escobar room brawl.
Yeah, so the Escobar room brawl. So he did that, and then that was Kushida done.
Yeah, that's fair. Phantom Driver.
Oh, there we go. Phantom Driver. I think Cradle Shock sounds better, though.
So I hear that Mendoza and Wilde hit a Russian leg sweep. I hear that as if I'm hearing it on the grapevine. Little bird told me.
It's a tandem move. There's a kick to the face and a Russian leg sweep, and that finished it off.
Yeah, fair play. To be fair, that can do some damage. Legado del Fantasma stood tall with all the gold. Legado del Fantasma defeated MS Kushida by pinfall. Grade.
Which means they won't win any of their rematches.
That makes sense. Grade. What would you give this?
grade A plus all the way.
They gave it an A minus.
Wow.
I love this. They're always they're like they're basically saying that they're basically saying that it wasn't a Okada Omega, but it was pretty damn close. And you're like, God, it's not praising it enough. You're like a Nintendo fan if somebody says that Mario Odyssey should only get like 97%.
Well, obviously Omega Ricardo's A plus 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 plus. Like,
yeah, I mean, we're talking the first ever 7-star match, right?
yeah, exactly. So it gets a plus 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 plus.
So, in summary, then, this new direction.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, fully enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to the next episode. I'm actually looking forward to watching NXT again, which is they've done their job. Really, if I'm feeling that way, they've done the job for me anyway.
That's fair. That's fair. Based on this conversation, I might watch NXT again.
There are a few matches that you need to watch from last week and this week.
Yeah. I think I'll probably give it a go. When
Actually, the women's stuff. The women's stuff's fucking fire, mate. I know you're not a fan. I know you can't.
To be honest, I am a fan of good wrestling. And the problem that I've had in the past with women's wrestling, is that it's always been a bit mixed. However, you will notice that with women's wrestling in NXT, I very often go out of my way to see it. I think my biggest problem with the women's wrestling on the main roster is that it's very inconsistently booked, very hit and miss, and the long-term storytelling doesn't exist because it is just a quagmire of flash in the pan kind of situations and circumstances. At the moment it's that tag team thing with Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, but really when you look at it, the entire women's division is based around getting Nia Jax into a compromising position and falling over. That's pretty much what that entire division is about at the moment, is getting a meme from Nia Jax, right? And then next month it'll be like, I don't know, Charlotte Flair decides to spit in Bayley's face, or it'll be something like that, or Becky Lynch comes back and accidentally elbows somebody in the eye and they turn that into a storyline because their eye falls through their socket, or it's just such a clusterfuck over on the main roster. I kind of avoid it.
No, they should fire Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. Waste of time.
Yeah. But they won't do that. Because, I mean, why do that when you can fire like a going nowhere tag team like the Iconics, right?
They could have brought them back together and got rid of.
They could have just not split them up.
Dana Brooke. Well, yeah, there was that too.
I mean, they split up the tag team, had no plan for them, and then sacked them both. Speaking of random WWE sackings, what were your thoughts on the sending people their ring gear in garbage bags, right?
What's his name? Mark Caruno?
Apparently he was considered a bit of a bully by most of the talent. Is what?
Sexual harassment, things are coming up about him. I mean, sending people's belongings in bin bags is out of order. I mean, Mickey James did the right thing and made it public on Twitter.
Yeah. It's not acceptable. It's not acceptable at all. And honestly, I think what it shows is when we talk about the cultural problems on the back of speaking out movement and all of that kind of stuff that are endemic in wrestling, these things very rarely stop as more money gets involved and more people get involved. If the culture
they're saying that they might bring him back because he knows where all the dead bodies are in WWE.
Yeah, that's the thing. And WWE are more than happy to give somebody retirement money, yacht money, in order to sit there and, attend a creative meeting once a month and, ruin someone's career. That's what they'll do, ultimately. and this is the problem. If the root is rotten of an industry, if it's rotten on the indies, then you can sure as fuck guarantee that it's rotten up everywhere else. And it's not like WWE is the most morally sound company in the world to begin with, considering that they have no problem.
What are you talking about? They're not corrupt. Never been corrupt.
Of course. I forget they're just as progressive as the incredibly progressive nation of Saudi Arabia.
Exactly.
Yes. Of course, Saudi Arabia are not progressive, and neither are the WWE. That's the problem, and ultimately, this is a culture problem that if WWE don't address it, it will continue to plague the Western wrestling scene for many years to come. What more can you say? Fire Velveteen Dream.
Some people are just dicks, right?
Yeah, they are.
Didn't get fired. What was that about?
Yeah, I know. So you fire Samoa Joe, a man who could literally turn wine into fire, and don't fire Velveteen Dream, a man so embarrassed by his conduct on social media that apparently he no longer has a Twitter.
Apparently Samoa Joe got fired because they're bringing in some new guy who is absolutely shit on Raw to commentate, and apparently he has concussion issues, and that's why he was sacked.
Is Samoa Joe?
Yeah,
they can't put him back in the ring. Is pretty much where they are because he's had too many concussions, is their thoughts. But it's not like he wasn't the best.
Doing a good job.
He was the best commentator.
He was doing a great job.
He was.
As a commentator.
But this is WWE. See, what they do is they look at something like Raw and they say, well, it can't be any of the decisions that Vince McMahon's made, like completely aborting storylines halfway through, or nonsensical booking that's based on a whim that he's had on the plane on the way over there. Even though he hires an entire team of 35 writers to sit there and write a show, he likes to just go in and just draw lines through it 5 minutes before everybody goes on. It can't possibly be that. It can't be the terrible product as a whole. It must be this one thing that he doesn't like about it.
Or maybe they just want Pat McAfee on SmackDown, and that was it.
WWE, they are a confused mess at the moment, but the one
have been for years.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the thing was, like, before the network, like, we're talking kind of just post CM Punk, WWE wasn't. They were formulaic, but they weren't confused. Like, this is the difference now. They are.
Sorry, I just thought of something. Maybe the new direction of NXT's come from Triple H talking to The Undertaker, because The Undertaker spoke about the products as a whole and how it was basically shit. And maybe that's where the direction is coming from for NXT. You never know.
That would be nice. I would love to see The Undertaker direct a product. I would love to see The Undertaker's input on a wrestling product as a booker. That would be really interesting, because I think that he could do some incredible stuff. I mean, the guy can't tweet for shit. I mean, if you've ever read his Twitter, it is just like syntax-wise, like spelling-wise, it is just not very good. But I bet that guy could script a fucking kick-ass version of NXT. I bet he really could. Like,
also, Jason Jordan's taken over as head producer of Raw and SmackDown.
Because of all that experience he has.
Yeah, all that experience he's been getting since he can't wrestle anymore.
Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting. Because I think John Laurinaitis has jumped into Mark Carino's job.
Yeah, okay. John Laurinaitis will just he'll make the same horrible decisions, he'll just make them sound better. because that guy's voice is like a red velvet cake, right? It's just so smooth. Oh dear me. You have been watching Jfabe on YouTube. This is it.
That's how we're ending the show.
That is how we're gonna end the show.
Wonder when his voice is like red velvet. Is that it?
That's it. That's the conclusion, everyone. We didn't expect this episode to go as long. But it's our premiere show on YouTube live, doing this live thing. So tomorrow we're gonna be back. Is it tomorrow that we're gonna do this? Have we got another one in this?
Tomorrow, AEW. Yeah.
Probably going to be a short show, but it's going to be AEW. We're not going to have a load of stuff to catch up on that we haven't looked at for 2 weeks, and then from then on, we will be scheduling.
Nothing else might pop up with AEW.
Well, we never know. Hopefully not. But I don't know if I've got another hour and a half show in me this week. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, we will be here every Wednesday and every Tuesday to talk about AEW and NXT respectively. Wait, today's Wednesday, isn't it?
It is.
Every Wednesday and every Thursday to give you a British take on NXT and AEW from us. We're the merry old Englishmen. We're not old, we're not merry, we're just English, and that's debatable at times. I have been Rich at Not a Time Duke on Twitter. I'm also available on Twitch under Shmup Yours, where I stream video games such as Dodonpachi Resurrection. Recently did a great stream on a Sunday, Sony Sunday we called it, did Shadow of the Colossus HD, really good fun. Please join me on there. You can also find me on YouTube. Jay is available at I'm Not a Robot, where the O's are replaced by zeros in the word robot. We are sometimes joined by a Time Duke version of Taz from the future. He hasn't been with us this episode. He might be with us for the next episode. He is available at Time Duke Taz. Don't know where he is at the moment, but every now and then he just appears and makes our lives a whole lot nicer. At Jfabe Podcast, if you want to get any of our other Twitter stuff in, you can listen to the audio version of this podcast at anchor.fm/Jfabe. You can also get in contact with us in the message box there. If you leave us a message, we promise we might play it on the show. And of course, we can be found anywhere where you get your usual podcast when you're on your way to work. So, yeah, no excuse. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
There's 3 minutes left of the song. It goes on for 3 more minutes. It goes on for 3 more minutes, Jay.
3 more minutes.
3 more minutes.
We're just gonna keep smiling, waving, mate. Just keep smiling and waving, mate.
Just
smiling and waving.
Just smiling and waving, mate.
Just do it.
I don't have a fade
3
out
minutes
animation.
is not long.
Alright. I don't have a fade out animation. I can't wait here.
Alright.
I'm stuck. Right, I'm just gonna turn it down, mate. I'm gonna turn it down.
Okay, mate.
Alright. Turn down the music. But then we're still there, mate. We're still there.
We're still waving.
Now we're waving quietly.
With no music.